Welcome everyone. In this video we'll show you how to enter Ontario Breeding Bird Atlas 3 Marshbird survey data. At the moment, Atlas Marshbird survey data can only be entered manually through the Atlas website. You can't record and enter these data in real time through the Atlas mobile app, at least not yet. This may change in the future. So go to the Atlas website, which of course is birdsontario.org, and click on Tools and Resources, then Data Entry, and then Special Surveys. Next, you'll need to enter your Atlas login name and password to get into Nature Counts, and then click the Sign In button at the bottom of the screen. If you haven't registered for Nature Counts yet, then you'll need to do that using the Register as a New User button at the top right of your screen. Here on the left, we see an Atlas 3 Marshbird survey bird point count field form that's already been filled out. On the right is the first screen of the Marshbird survey data entry process in Nature Counts. The first piece of information you will enter is the latitude and longitude of the Marshbird survey station or site where you made your observations. You simply type these into the latitude and longitude boxes, as you see illustrated here by the orange connecting lines and bubbles. Next, you will click Add Marker, located immediately to the right of the latitude and longitude boxes, which will add a green symbol to the map below. Please check that the location makes sense, because if it doesn't, you've got a typo in your coordinates someplace that will need to be fixed. Then enter the square and station number from the field sheet into the site name box on the screen. The site name should be 9 digits long, consisting of the 7-digit Atlas square number, followed immediately by a dash, followed immediately by the single-digit regular roadside Atlas point count number that was used to identify and locate the Marshbird survey station. In this case, the site name is 17TPL52-3. Once you've entered all of this, then you're ready to move on by clicking the Continue button. Next, you will enter the date on which you conducted the survey. This Marshbird survey point count was completed on the 7th of June 2021. Then you'll scroll down and select Atlas Marshbird Survey from the list of special surveys, and then you'll click Continue. Next, you'll enter the start time of your Marshbird survey. This one started at 6:32 p.m., which is 1832 when converted to 24-hour clock. Next, you'll enter which survey it was, the first or the optional second survey. This one was the first survey. Then you'll enter the station number. This is the single-digit regular roadside Atlas point count number that was used to identify and locate the Marshbird survey station or site. You already entered this as part of the 9-digit site name in an earlier step, but you're asked to enter it again here in the station box. In this case, the station was 3. As you scroll down, you'll enter information from the Marshbird survey habitat field form, shown here on the left. Here in this example, you'll enter the wetland type within 100 meters as marsh/shallow open water, which you'll select from the drop-down list. And you'll enter that the site was a beaver pond or meadow, which you'll indicate by selecting the tick box. Also in this case, you'll enter the aerial coverage within 100 meters as 15% open water, 20% emergent non-woody plants, 20% open-grown woody shrubs, and 45% trees, all of which gets typed directly into the appropriate boxes. As you scroll farther down, you'll enter the aerial coverage for the emergent non-woody component. In this case, it was 30% cattail and 70% grasses and sedges. And a bit farther down, you'll enter the compass bearing that you were facing during the survey. This piece of information is recorded on the bird point count field form, which is shown here on the left. In this case, it was 20 degrees. If you forgot to record the direction, then please estimate the best you can, because this is a required field and you must enter something to be able to continue. As you continue to scroll down, there's a box for comments where you can enter anything you feel might be important to note. Under that, you'll enter the temperature, the wind speed, and the noise level. In this case, these were 22 degrees Celsius, Beaufort wind code of 1, and none or slight for noise. And then down at the very bottom is where you enter the birds you observed. Here, we've only entered some of the observations to illustrate the concept, although obviously you will enter all of your observations. In the first example shown here, you enter one broad-winged hawk that was first detected in the first 3 minutes beyond 100 meters in front. You know this broad-winged hawk was first detected in the first 3 minutes of the 10-minute survey because it has a superscripted 1 with its 4-letter species code, as opposed to a superscripted 2, which would be minute 4 to 5, or a superscripted 3, which would be minute 6 to 10. And you know this broad-winged hawk was first detected beyond 100 meters because its 4-letter code is recorded beyond the 100-meter radius line on the map. And likewise, you know it was first detected in front because that is where its 4-letter code appears on the map. Note that you can group individuals of the same species together in the same row for data entry if, and only if, they were first detected in the same time interval, same distance band, and same direction. For example, as you can see here, you can enter 4 red-winged blackbirds on the same row because all of them were first detected in the first 3 minutes between 50 and 100 meters in front. Other examples here include 2 separate rows for swamp sparrow. You enter 2 separate rows for this species in this case because the 3 individuals are spread across 2 different distance bands, even though they all have the same time interval and the same direction. If they had all been detected in the same distance band, then you could have entered them all in the same row. Here's an example of 2 red-eyed vireos combined into 1 row that were first detected behind or back rather than in front. You can combine these 2 vireos in 1 row because they were both first detected in the first 3 minutes between 50 and 100 meters behind. And a last example. Here a ruffed grouse first detected in the last 5 minutes, or in other words, during minute 6 to 10, beyond 100 meters behind. And of course we know it was first detected in the last 5 minutes because its 4-letter code has a superscripted 3 on the map, and it was first detected beyond 100 meters behind because that is where its species code was recorded on the map. And finally, at the very bottom, you can hit save periodically as you're working your way through so you don't lose anything. For example, if you take a break or the power goes out, etc. But when you're finally done entering everything, then you need to click on the Finish Form button. And that concludes entering the data from an Atlas III Marshbird Survey point count field form and associated information from the Atlas III Marshbird Survey habitat field form. If you completed an optional second survey visit to an Atlas III Marshbird Survey station, then the process for entering the data from your second survey is pretty well the same as for your first survey. We note, however, that you'll need to re-enter the latitude and longitude, as well as the 9-digit station or site name during the first step, in the same way that you did when you entered the data for your first survey. And we note that you will, of course, select second rather than first in the survey box. Everything else is the same for entering your first and second surveys, as we've just demonstrated. Many thanks for your effort in completing and entering data for the Ontario 3 Marshbird Survey. I'd like to thank all of the Atlas supporters shown here for making the Atlas Marshbird Survey a success, and in particular, I'd like to thank Wildlife Habitat Canada for supporting the production of this instructional video.